And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, JVaz, and we're back with another dope-ass interview for you guys. Before we get you there, make sure you follow us on all the social media pages at the JVaz Show. Check out the website, thejvazshow.com, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn on your, your little alerts so that you know when we post new interviews and new content as well. And joining us today, something I found interesting, and I'm going to ask you about this, H-Town's Ghost Boy, Dead Senzu. What's up, man?
You already know, it's that Senzu. Of course, I like to be H-Town's Ghost Boy because I'll be really low key, but hey, man, my shit fire.
Yeah. So, talk to me about the whole H-Town Ghost Boy. That's what that is, being low key, but
being low key, mostly that whole aura really comes from one of my influences, really coming from like that 3-6 Mafia, like that dark. Because I really like that dark like energy, but all them beats are fucking dope. To me, I feel like their energy, like coming from like an underground perspective, it's a sound that I don't think like at the beginning too many people fucked with, but I think now it's like more appreciated and reverted. I mean, even Travis Scott has a sample of them in his his song. But I know those songs are like, some of those songs are hits, but more of the low key songs that I don't say aren't like so commercial. That's where like that feeling came from, that vibe of having that real rare aesthetic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like things are real spacey, especially because I would say a couple years ago, I was really into doing a lot of acid. So me and my friends we'd be dropping tabs, like we drop one tab and then we draw the next month 2 tabs. And during these trips, sometimes I would experience some things that I would say experiences from your mind that I would say like, I don't really remember too many of those things, but the things I do remember, they impacted me a lot and it really changed my music.
Yeah.
So it was during the time that I wasn't really online like that. I was working on music, but I wasn't like pushing it out there like that. I would say that really impacted me a lot differently.
Yeah.
It really changed everything. So whenever I did decide to come back into music, I wanted, so that's how I feel, Ghost Boy feel. Like,
So the whole Ghost Boy, H-Town's Ghost Boy was because of after you left the scene. That's where the idea came from.
Pretty much. After I left the scene.
Hold on. Before we get there, before we get to that though, let's introduce you and give people a feel of who H-Town's Ghost Boy Dead Senzu is. Yeah. So you're an artist. You were telling me you're also a producer.
Yeah, I'm an artist producer. I started producing first on Fruity Loops like back in like 2008, back when it was FL 10 and 9. So it's real old. It's real. I didn't have anything. I was just messing on my laptop.
Yeah.
It was a real crappy laptop, a little gateway laptop I had. It wasn't really nothing, but that's where I first started from.
Hey, the mask you're wearing right now, is this part of Dead Senzu or is this COVID anti-COVID related?
No, actually, what's funny about that is that right before COVID started, which is when I started releasing in 2020, right before COVID started, I had already had the idea of wearing a mask, like this exact mask first. I have a new mask that I'm gonna be wearing soon. I would say, especially when the news straight out of Texas comes out. On Halloween, I'll probably be wearing a different one, but I had already thought when I do come out in the scene, I want to have a mask on, and it's going to open up. This mask actually comes from the anime Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever watched it.
Nah.
But if anybody has ever watched any anime, you'll recognize the mask right away. But I was like, no, I want to have something on that is a little bit different.
It's different, and it's like eye-catching in a way because it's like hold on, man, like this shit looks kind of cool. Like it. That's why I was like, is it part of the of Dead Senzu?
Or? Yeah, it is part of Dead Senzu, and it was right before COVID. I swear, I had just dropped like a music video for the song Muddy Waters. So it was the first. Nobody was on that COVID shit yet. Nobody was wearing like masks everywhere. Nobody had even done anything. I was just wearing my mask, trying to be out there like that. And then COVID hit on March, and everybody had to wear masks. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, I guess it works out now since everybody has to wear a
Perfect.
mask anyway.
Yeah.
So screw it.
But
That's how-
it also would have been cool to just come out on the scene with the mask without people thinking he's doing it because of COVID. Just with
Yeah.
the, you know what I mean? That would have been cool.
yeah, definitely.
So you know, we kind of started talking about, you know, I think this was actually off camera when you were telling me about your influences. But what was it that sparked the interest in music for you?
What really sparked it was whenever, I would say back in the times whenever Buy You a Drink was coming out, Soulja Boy came out with the song Soulja Boy.
Yeah. Oh man, you taking us back.
Yeah. So whenever I was, because that's around the time that I was on the internet. You know, I had just gotten my computer, so I was on YouTube, and YouTube was a new thing.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody had like a really good video. Everything was like some fights, some really, you know, some funny ass videos. And whenever Soulja Boy came out with that shit, and I even heard that shit through LimeWire or it was FrostWire too. I was listening to his song and I was like, damn.
Fuck, man, you taking us back. Yeah,
I was like, damn, this guy made a song off of his computer. He was on his computer using FL Studio with a whatever mic, and he made this song that as soon as he put out whatever dance, it kind of blew up from there, you know? And I was like, damn, that's pretty dope, because I already had listened to whatever, you know, because I was already listening to Pog B. You know, that's all different compared to like seeing somebody on the internet do it with like pretty no background of really a lot of any music knowledge, I would say, like that.
Yeah.
Like it's just you on your own. And during that time I was like, wow, I really want to start doing that on my own. So I had bought myself a little CO1U, little Samsung mic that you can plug in USB. And I just started recording myself at home. At the beginning I was using Cool Edit Pro.
Cool Edit Pro, yeah.
You
had the bootleg version?
Huh, yeah. Yeah, you know, I ended up upgrading to Adobe Audition. It was kind of where it kind of looked like it. It was kind of a little bit like more professional, but it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
But I learned how to mix and master during a time where like you couldn't find YouTube tutorials like that. Not everybody on YouTube was showing you how to mix and master, none of that. So I had to kind of like do that on my own. So then I had me and my homie, we started vlogging. We started doing music videos. Some of them you can still find them under my old name. But I started doing that. I was on YouTube. You know, I was getting like 1,000 views, 5,000 views. But that was at a time that nobody had YouTube on their phones like that. Not everybody had an iPhone. Shit, I still had a BlackBerry.
Damn.
So I was in school just with my little BlackBerry, and I was like, yeah, I'm uploading on YouTube. You know, not everybody at school knew until I would say I had this one song. I covered like a Wiz Khalifa song, and everybody at school knew. It had some of my friends from school on there, and everybody knew. And so I got all that criticism, like I would say face-to-face criticism, other than how people nowadays, you know, they just know about like comments and stuff.
And I think that's cool to be able to had experienced that face-to-face criticism, because I like to think that it helps you build character more when somebody, I guess you can say, has the balls to tell you like, hey bro, like this doesn't sound good, or this is this.
Yeah.
Because nowadays online, it's like anybody gets brave to just talk shit. It's not even criticism anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just say whatever about anything, you know. People
Yeah.
just be making up
So
shit.
I think that's dope that you got to experience that as a young artist in the very early stages, because obviously everybody that's coming out now, they're never gonna get that. You know what I mean? It's a
really
lost
hard.
art in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty much because, aside from, because people like weren't gonna make YouTube channels, or like it wasn't that easy to like set up a YouTube channel. So they just watch the video on YouTube, and then they go at school, and then they'd be like, yeah, it was good, or that shit sucked, that shit was trash, blah, blah, blah. And it'd be like, that's why nowadays, whenever I be going to, whenever I went to a show, I didn't feel like an anxiety to perform, or like an anxiety of I'm there, but because I already know how it actually feels like to like receive like those kind of comments, especially because at the time whenever we started doing good on YouTube, back then, I was still receiving a lot of comments, and you know, I was already experiencing how it feels to get negative comments and good ones, and how to balance that out and not really be affected by that, so that way my content still keeps being good. Because if I were to let that affect me, then it's like, why am I even doing this?
Exactly.
Can
so,
get sensitive.
So let me ask you this, man. Your style.
Yeah.
How would you describe your style to somebody that's hasn't listened to you?
I would say my beats real psychedelic. I would have a lot of psychedelic like beats.
And what inspired the style?
I used to listen to definitely a lot of Pink Floyd when I was tripping. And honestly, that kind of music, puts you in a different mode, I would say, especially because it's not so much about what they're saying, but like the feeling they're giving you. And so I was like, how can I bring that onto my music? Because also I love Kanye West. Like Kanye West is one of my freaking influences, but it's because whenever he made Yeezus, that shit like was different. Nobody was like, I'm on that. They're like, what is this? This is weird. This is like out there. I don't even know if I really fuck with it. To me, I was already fucking with it because I'm like, Mike Dean was on that shit. Travis Scott was working on that shit. I was like, I already know what I was gonna expect out of it, kind of. And I was like, this is what that's kind of like the scale where I want to eventually get to, like music that I feel is like art altogether. Because since I'm a producer, I love already making melodies. I really like constructing the instrumental. Since I like constructing the instrumental, I was like putting the lyrics over it, whatever I feel goes fit. I was like, I'm gonna do it myself over it, because honestly, I guess that's kind of like what you want. That's how I guess what makes it whole, because that's all myself trying to make something different and something out there, pushing the limits, but still being within, I would say, within range for somebody to like want to listen to.
Yeah.
Because I know not everybody is like with that shit, so you kind of have to make a balance of where people want to bump that shit, but it's like, okay, that's different. Where is that going to? Because eventually I will say my music is a mixed bag.
Yeah.
It will go from being real chill to being real, we're gonna fucking bang our heads, rage in the fucking stage, to I'm mellowing out, to this is some serious spitting, like we're getting into real lyrics. Because I also like to actual spit.
Yeah.
I like to because my song Who You Know is a whole long verse of actual lyrics. Every verse, I would say every line is actual metaphor or a simile of some kind, because I actually like to write in that format. I just have different ways of writing it on my songs, because the intent is going to be different on every beat. Yeah. Every beat I can't be rapping the same, because if I were to rap the same on every beat, then I'm going to tire it out.
So let me ask you this: not you're talking about your style and how you go about putting the idea together of your style. You mentioned you had taken a break. So before that, Senzu, what artist name did you go by, and why did you decide to take this break from being an artist?
So the name that I had gone by beforehand was Chris Days. So that's when I was in high school. A little bit when I was in college, because I only went to college for a year, but when I was in college there, I was still under the name Chris Days. Even after I left, I was still Chris Days online for a little while. I would say I started scattering how many releases I started putting out. Like I wasn't putting out as many, but because I would say I was going changes in my life, especially doing acid and getting into like doing drugs, the shrooms, like that. I started rethinking what I wanted out of music, because I was kind of trying to, I guess, I would see what would be online sometimes, would be like, I need to do something like that, or I need to be doing that, or I need to be doing this kind of song. And eventually that shit's gonna be outdated, because you're just trying to ride on sounds that are right now, but they're not gonna be later. You gotta think about what's gonna happen later, maybe, or how can I stand like the test of time? How does your sound stand the test of time if you're not thinking forward? And so I took a break around, I want to say 2014, 2015. I stopped releasing songs altogether and started just focusing on the production side. I was like, no, I'm gonna get my beats down, like for real, because at the time I was still buying beats from people online. And I wasn't really creating full-on beats. I was just focusing on the rapping shit. SoundClick, off of YouTube, off of people that were on YouTube that I already known, because I I would say during the time on my my YouTube days as Chris Days, I had like made a lot of connections outside of just Houston. You know, I was talking to people in California and New York, and we were all having different perspectives about how our careers were gonna go because we were all really young. You know, we were all really young at this time. But we were bouncing off ideas off each other. That's how I had like somewhat practice with mixing and mastering because they would send me their songs, I would mix their songs, send them back. Anything like that, it just gave me practice for myself for whenever I wanted to make a song. But whenever I was really already on the way out of my thinking at the moment, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give myself a break and I'm gonna find my sound how I want it to sound because I want it to sound good, but I want it to sound like me. And I want to be off of this, oh, you sound like, because people, I would say mostly whenever I was in high school, they're like, you're trying to sound like Drake. You're trying to sound like Drake. But it's because Drake was popping at the time, you know, Drake. I mean, he's still popping now, but I mean, like, back then even more. Especially because I grew up.
He had just come out and was more influential at the time.
Yeah, I was already on So Far Gone. I was already, Take Care had already dropped. I was like, you know, on those kind of type of beats, you know. But I was like, let me get out of that, and let me see what I want. So taking all those trips, working on my producing really helped out, scope out how I wanted it to sound. And so when I started recording, again, I would say, because I stopped recording for a while, because there would be little demos, but nothing too thought out that I'm like, okay, this is the finished song. No, it wasn't until right before 2020, that was 2019, 2018, where I had like started working on like this is what I'm gonna start. This is what I'm gonna release.
What sparked that wanting to come back like as an artist, not a producer?
I have felt like I was complete with what I wanted. I was like, all right, this is how I want to sound. This is how I want to come out. This is the image I want to be. This is the name I want to put out because that's me, and this is for real. This is gonna be my own. I'm gonna hone it for myself, and then shit. And so I recorded 3 songs for my first EP before next season, and I was like, I'm gonna put these first out. And then we're gonna work all of 2020. And then COVID hit. And I was like, I can't do all the things that I really wanted to do. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna work all of 2020 on my releases for 2021. And so that's what I've kind of been doing right now, releasing all the songs that you're listening to have all been recorded from last year. Some of them are recorded this year, but most of them are from last year.
Yeah, it's all new stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm already familiar with what I'm releasing, but because I was intending to release that last year. But I'm doing it now because I was like, nah, I want it to be, when I release it, I want it to be impactful.
How helpful has it been, not just that you found your style, but you're also your own producer, which I'm assuming it makes things so much easier to create because
definitely.
I feel like when you're making the beat, it's already in your head how you're going to put the song together. So how much easier has that been now this time around than having to buy, having to search, trap beats or whatever beats?
Yeah, for me, I would say it's changed. It's changed everything just because sometimes I just be thinking about the ideas in my head and I just put on the freaking FL Studio and it's getting done. It's like I want this kind of piano melody. I just created myself. Sometimes I'll say some of my songs just came straight off my phone on GarageBand.
Yeah.
I just started fucking around with the GarageBand app, and then I would make full songs even off of my headphones whenever I wasn't at either in my studio or I wasn't at a studio period. I was just out maybe at a friend's house. Maybe we were just chilling and smoking. I was just over here just putting out the notes, and then I would take that back home and be like, I'll put this make an actual beat out of this. It really has changed everything, because I could even start off with a skeleton of the beat. I'm already thought out all the lyrics.
Yeah.
Like, nah, this is how it's gonna sound, and I was like, I would even record it with the beat half made, like it's still like, I haven't even finished it. I'm like, nah, it's gonna sound, that's it, and then I'll be like, all right, let's just go finish the beat. That's it. That's all I gotta do. And me mixing and mastering, I just get the song done. I have everything, basically, at that point. I'm like, I have everything. I have my full control of how I want it to sound, and it's going to sound good every time.
You mentioned your brother.
Kanashi. His name is Kanashi Tenshi.
And you and him are working, with you. I believe you said producing. Is he trying to get in the artist side as well, or more of just the producer of?
Well, he's more of an artist on his own. You know, he has his own style and stuff. But so I've been helping him on producing and stuff like that. But it's mostly on he's trying to be more of an artist.
That's
right
dope
now.
though
But
to have a
it's
brother
'cause-
shares the same interests.
Yeah, yeah. It helps out a lot too because he loves doing art. So he helps me with some of my artwork. It's because I make all of my own artwork too. So he helps draw out some things, and I just pretty much go ahead and clean it all up and make new versions of everything. Because I like to bring that. Because when I like to bring drawings, but to life sometimes.
Yeah.
Just to make it look more real on the artwork. But we did go to the studio, I would say, this past month. We went to Victory Records and we went ahead and recorded a song called Slippin'. He brought me the hook idea, and I was like, I went ahead and made the beat. We finished all the verses, and I'm like, let's hit the studio. Let's go. This gotta get done because this beat is the shit. I'm telling you, like, blah, blah. And at first he was nervous about it. Like, I wasn't so sure that it wasn't gonna turn out like this. But when he heard the result, he was like, that's how I wanted it to sound. It's just, you know, it takes that extra push of like, as a producer, I would say it made that whole process a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because I just go ahead, make the sound, it's one and done. I would say it's pretty much, like, what's it, nothing but net when it fucking comes to that shit.
Yeah. So as far as your production, who have you worked with? Like who's some of the people you've worked with out here in Houston, or is this more like a just for yourself?
Production has been more so for myself, especially because I would say whenever I make certain beats, I'm just like, nah, I need to use that one. Nah, I need to use that one. Nah, I need to use that one. It's good. It's mine. No, like, definitely not. All the hot beats, I'm like, it's mine. It's mine. I'm not saying that I have trash beats. It's just like some beats that I have, I'm like, definitely somebody else could be on it, but I just don't take the time of being like, hey, maybe you can use this or whatever, you know, or like, hey, it's up for sale. Maybe in the future, I guess I'll sell maybe some of my beats, or whoever wants to work. You know,
Yeah.
if they've heard my music, don't think of it just those beats. I make all beats because I love making all types of different music.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to just be that, oh, it's just this type of trap. I've made beats that are like rock sounding beats. I've made beats that are more like pop sounding beats. But when it comes to production, I've worked with, I would say, two producers. One of them being Ref Money Made, who made X-Wing Freestyle. He made that beat. He's made one other song, but that song, I'm not gonna release it yet. It's gonna be a while till I release that song. But that song is the shit. It's like some trap shit, but a really fast tempo, but some of the 808s are like reverse. It's a really experimental song, but it's really dope. Like, that shit, I really can't wait to release that song. But I forgot who else I have worked with, but it's really just been 2 or 3 songs somebody else produced. Everything else I produced myself, just because I like to keep it in-house.
Yeah. Let's talk about Straight Out of Texas, man. Like I said, I saw you a couple times on there. My girl was recording, you know, the performances. I do have some of your footage, which we'll add to the interview now. You know, now that we have you on here, that'll be good to just add it on there.
Yeah, dope.
So you were on Straight Out of Texas. The results come out. By the time this interview comes out, you know, it's already going to be past. But you know, I guess to put a timestamp of when we're recording, the event comes out tomorrow. Shouts out to Htown and Htown Network and Tex for putting that together. I guess my question for you is how do you feel you did? How do you feel you did it? Because it was a lot of y'all and it was a lot of talent out there, man.
Yeah, that was a lot. It was a lot of dope people on stage. Shout out to Space City Lords, because I'm gonna be having a song with that. Shout out to Tex Mex too. When I did go on stage, I was like, I already know what song I was gonna do. I was gonna do Bands in the Safe and Who You Know. Originally, it was gonna only be Who You Know. Whenever we did the first shootings, it was only gonna be Who You Know. But whenever it came to doing a performance in front of us at a stage and all that with the crowd, I was like, we gotta mix it up a little bit. You know, I wanna showcase, because I was gonna release the songs at the same time, both of them. It's like I wanna showcase both songs. I definitely wanna do most of Who You Know, but I wanna showcase Bands in the Safe, because that shit, I was like, when it comes to performance, I was like, that song fucking bumps. So I already had mixed it pre-recording. I was like, no, this is the song I want to put. So when I came out, I was like, gonna turn the fuck up, and on Bands of the Save, I was like, hey, all them bands in the safe, high play, money sound like every day, money count, I was like, I was really like trying to shape my, because I love that, like that song, I was like, it was made for that kind of shit where you're like, let's mosh pit, let's rage, yo, if you came out to the show, not just to like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with my drink, no, come on, let's go, let's get this energy going.
Yeah, I mean, the energy of your performance, man, it was, I think you're probably the most energized artist out there, man. You put on a good show.
Yeah, fuck, man. That's, when it comes to making music, that's one of the things that I do think about. When I'm gonna perform the song, how am I gonna perform it? And does the beat sound good enough? And if you wanna, get a little bit more intense with it, can I? And it's how I be making some of my songs where I'm like performing up there. I'm like, let's get it. Bands of the Safe, or Who You Know, because that song, fucking love Who You Know because of that verse, because some of it, I was thinking about like where I come from when I did Who You Know, because I was like, I'll say part of the lyrics say, I'm forgetting right now, I don't know why, I gotta like get the fuck out.
Mine goes blank, yeah.
I say, about every beat I detonate, Jordan 6 levitate. It's too easy to degrade. Everybody gun hate in the 88s. Which one? You ain't even got escape. About the grass in 94. Smoking blunts inside the Illinois. It's the flow you can't ignore. Blowing, dank and banging screw. I want my ride on 22s. Shiny grills and double cups. Purple coating in my blunt. Yeah, like I was like, fuck yeah. When I went to the studio, I was like, this is it. Like I did that song in one take, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I was like, when I went in the studio, I had already known all the lyrics at the time. I was like, this is the song. This song is gonna be the shit. And so that's why I decided to perform that. But Bands in the Safe, I was like, that was the intro. It's the intro of like, when I would say it gives you a good perspective of this is what you're gonna get.
What you're about to get, yeah. Yeah, you mentioned you're also going to be at the SOT, the Halloween edition. I believe that's October 8th, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Can't remember the exact date, but
yeah, I think it's October 8th.
So you're going to be on that one.
Definitely.
For the people that want to keep up with you and want to follow you as far as events and whatnot, what other events can people look forward to see you out there?
So I'm also going to be at the Fall Collective. Ridge Hardy, he's the one that puts that together. So it's basically, I'm going to perform there too. It's going to be it's going to be a small sort of event, but it's going to have vendors there too, doing different things. They're going to have drinks. It's $10 entry fee, nothing too big. But I'm going to be there also performing some of my songs. I have shit ready for Straight Outta Texas Halloween edition though.
I already got it lined up. Yeah.
Shit, we went to the studio right after, and I was like, got it. What's coming next? So we're prepared. Whoever's coming up. Yeah.
As far as music goes, what are some of the upcoming projects, some upcoming collabs that we should keep our eyes open for?
So I have a collab with Space City Lords. I just sent it to them. It's called In the Night. I have a preview of it in my Instagram of me performing part of the hook. But I'll say that shit is the shit, so Space City Lords, get on that, because that shit, I'm telling you, man, that's one of the ones that I would say is one of the most awaited for me, because the vibe with that song is already the shit, so I can't wait for them to finish the verses on it. I have Slippin' with Kanashi Tenshi, which I'm also put out. I have this song called Wave Splash with Trev. He's a really good friend of mine. We made this song about last year, but we have a lot of other songs together. He hasn't really been out in the scene too much, but I had brought him out for those songs, but because I was like, hey man, I need somebody to do this hook. I want you to be on this verse, have this beat that fits the whole aura really good. Wave Splash. I'm only working on the music video this month, along with the video for Who You Know. But I'm gonna be working on the Wave Splash video, and that shit is gonna be the shit. It sounds different from everything else that I have, but that shit definitely bumps.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm with that shit.
For the people who have never heard of Dead Senzu, what can they expect when they play their first song?
Depends what song you're gonna play. That's definitely the thing. I don't think that you can say like I have one like this sound is him. No, there's sort of an amount of different sounds you'll hear from me. You'll always hear sort of a psychedelic sound though, whether it be with whatever melody I make. I kind of want it to have like a psychedelic feel always. So I think you'll hear that definitely in my music, whether it's the melody, the way the drums come in, or my voice sounds, because my voice doesn't. I don't always have like just one vocal. Maybe I have multiple vocals, or I'm harmonizing, or I'm singing with autotune, or I'm singing without autotune, or I have an effect, some sort of way. I'm changing it up every time.
Yeah.
But if you listen to X-Wing freestyle, the vibe is real chill. The piano's coming real chill. The Rhodes, and it's a bunch of singing. You know, bitch, you fake, you know it, huh? On palm, you ignore it. On you try to act heroic. You know, it's like it's a lot of singing.
Yeah.
But then bands and say, I want bands in a set, how I play. And then I have lanes, which is like smoking, switching lanes, bitch, smoking, switching. So that one's pretty chill. Like I want like a lot of bass. Depends what you, like I said, depends what you go with first. Cause I have this feature with FM Prophet called Can't Feel My Face, and I sound drastically different on that than I do on all my other songs. But it's cause that song was supposed to be like, I would say if you listen to it, it's real like hype. Like I'm gonna jump around, I'm on some shit, you know?
Yeah.
So depends on what song you hit on first. I would say if you don't like that song, don't know what else you might hear that you might like. It might be that one song that you're like.
Yeah, range, like what they say. Yeah.
The range, yeah, because I like, if I ever do collab with somebody different, I want to be able to fit them in to either to my song or be able to fit in with their song too, but without giving up too much of who I am.
Yeah.
That way, you know it's me, but I can hear him on this, I can hear him on that. Even if they bring like a hardcore beat, I'm ready for anything. It could be on some G shit. It could be on whatever. I would say I have enough of what I've listened to know what works. Especially as a producer, I know what works. For me, especially.
That's dope, man. Where can people find you on social media, man?
They can find me on SoundCloud. They can find me on Spotify. They can find me on Instagram. I have YouTube. I have Twitter. Twitch. I be on Twitch just whenever I be making beats. Sometimes I be twitching myself making the beats.
But cool thing to bring up, because I had asked him why he wasn't on Apple Music. They have to add the $sign on your name.
Add the $sign on the DSPs. Definitely, if you're on Apple, you're on Tidal, Deezer. I don't know if people use Napster. No, it goes on.
I didn't even know Napster was still out. Yeah.
You put distribution out, it goes everywhere. But you got to put the $sign. Dead Senzu space. $enzu, dead Senzu. Yeah, that's how you'll find it. If anything, I have a link tree. If you just go to my Instagram, my link tree is to take you everywhere. Everywhere you need to go to my newest releases. To if you have certain other things that you like to watch, you can definitely watch them on there.
And you can find those links. You can find the link to his Instagram on the description of the podcast, the description of the YouTube video. So make sure you give him a follow. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. Make sure you tune into his music, and support. It's important to support our independent local artists.
Definitely come out here and listen to my music, because I would say, especially if you're in Houston, you're gonna see me out a lot. Especially because I'm really trying to get these performances up, but really just so I can be able to showcase my music, be able to put out that energy out there. Because I feel like when it comes to shows, I want people to come enjoy actual shit,
Yeah.
Come enjoy yourselves, because that's what y'all came for, Y'all came here to not just stand around, because that's why I like my performances a certain way, because I like it, I appreciate it whenever an artist actually inputs their all into something, because it's like, hey, if this is the music that you're putting out, put it up.
It represents you. Yeah, it's your brand, you know what I mean? So you want people to enjoy it as much as you're enjoying the performing for them.
Exactly. So definitely.
So once again, man, we appreciate your time. Dead Senzu. Again, the links to his Instagram, the links to his to all his YouTube channel and everything, his link tree. It's available on there on the description of the podcast. So make sure you give him a follow. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. And once again, the ghost What is it? H-Town's Ghost Boy.
H-Town's Ghost Boy, you already know.
Dead Senzu, man. I appreciate your time, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. You've been killing it on the scene, too, man. I've been watching your show since last year. Since whenever I came back, I was, like, trying to see what, what Houston has to offer as far as, like, who the media people are, you know, that's doing it for the underground. And so whenever I came back, I was seeing your show. So I've been watching your show for a while already. I was like, I really want to be a part of this because that's why I was like, damn, I missed him at the SOT event. I was like, dang, I was like, I had just bumped in. And I was
We're gonna be out there. We're gonna be out there on the next one, man. So make sure you
Definitely.
stop by. And if you're an artist and you're watching and listening to this, make sure you stop by as well.
Make sure
we'll be at the next event, and we'll try to be at as much events just like you guys, and try to bring light to all these artists, man. So once again, Dead Senzu, appreciate you, man.